We are back here on Girl Talk with our favorite Ian at Custom Audio Video.
Well, thanks.
I'll tell you what, we got a lot to talk about. We talked last time about the conference that you were that you usually attend.
Well, we go every 2 years, but this year was our year off. Yeah.
Well, with Irma and all the hurricanes, it makes sense to me. Yeah. But there's a lot to talk about and things that new innovative things that we really need to know about in the world of AV.
Yeah. So we're a member of an association called CEDIA, Custom Electronic. I'm going to test you because you forgot.
I know. Every time I'm like,
Custom
design.
Electronics Design and Installation Association.
There you go.
So that's when everything new in our industry is launched. It's usually around September time. So last month we had it. And some of the stuff that came out of it's pretty interesting. As we expected, voice control, and we've spoken about Alexa and all that stuff before, but voice control, many more manufacturers incorporate that directly into the products now. So you don't actually have to have the Amazon Alexa product.
Got it.
You know,
okay.
And I think I mentioned last time, Denon incorporate that directly into the receiver, one of the receivers they have.
Is that just for ease? Is that why that's such an important piece, the voice control? We just don't want to get up from here to here. We want to say.
Just because we can.
Exactly.
Right? Just because
Alexa, tell us the weather.
Yeah. Sonos has been around for a long time. That's a streaming device that streams Pandora, Rhapsody, iHeartRadio. There's a huge list of...
You've taught me and I actually listened. I was like, Sonos, I know that.
That's good.
Yeah.
So just yesterday, they released a firmware update that will allow Alexa control of Sonos now.
So what does that look like and mean in practical life?
So if you have Sonos in your house, you do the firmware update, and if you have an Amazon product that does the Alexa, then you can control Sonos through that.
Okay.
They've also released one particular product from the range. They have had a Play One, which is their entry-level piece. They've had that for a while. They've now just launched a Sonos One, which is the same thing, but it has Alexa built directly into it. So again, you don't have to have that separate Alexa piece. Oh,
I mean, that's crazy, isn't it? It's kind of exciting.
I guess.
No, it really is.
We'll find out when we trial it, and we don't have, the capability yet. The software just came out yesterday, so we'll find out.
Do you all, in this business, do you wait until things happen? Do you see things evolve? Like now that with Alexa, do you think to yourselves, wow, this would really be great if we could do Sonos or things like that?
Yeah. It's a bit of both. We see things coming, and sometimes it happens tomorrow, sometimes it happens in 6 months from now, so we just really try and keep up with it. And if there's something new that we think that people will want and like, then we try and bring it in our showroom and demo it.
Well, and that kind of brings me back to the Low Country in particular. Are there things that are big sellers here that you think are just must-haves in new technology, new electronics?
Yeah, this area in particular, obviously we have a lot of people that live up north and come here for a short time, and we have great weather here apart from humidity. It's great right now. So
yeah, it's beautiful.
The outdoor audio video side is quite popular, whether it just be speakers on the porch, outdoor TVs, landscape speakers that are strategically hidden in the landscape, in the shrubs and stuff like that. So that's fairly big around here.
What about TVs inside, and are you seeing the giant? I was just with a client the other day, and it was really funny because he's recently a widow, and it's been really sad, but he's talking now about audio, all of his AV things. He's like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and the bigger the better for TVs?
Yeah, everybody wants the biggest TV they possibly can.
Okay.
I don't know that it's always suitable. Sometimes they overpower the rooms, but you can do a 100-inch TV easily these days.
Can you really?
Well, easily. Apart from the budget, they're kind of expensive, but that's obviously a consideration. I think last time I mentioned Sony brought out some new 4K projectors this year.
Yes, we did talk about that.
With a projector and a screen. It was always the way to go for large images. If you wanted a 135-inch screen, you couldn't buy a TV that size. It had to be a projector with a separate screen, which makes sense. now as technology advances, the TVs are larger and larger and larger. Like I say, there's a 100-inch. There's probably some bigger ones out there for commercial applications, but it's you need to watch the budget for sure.
Are there formulas that you have for the size of a TV according to the room or where your furniture is positioned?
Yeah, typically.
I always wondered that.
Yeah, typically the distance you would sit from a TV, there's a couple of different specifications, but typically the distance is 2.5 times the height of the screen.
Okay, 2.5 times. Oh,
So two and a half to 3 times the height of the screen. So if the screen's 50 inches, 3 times is 150 inches away. That's typical. But as we get higher resolution pictures, we now are into 4K. It's not quite as important to be so far away from it. You can get closer.
It's always funny. We start out saying, there's so much to talk about, and we get halfway through the interview and we're like, oh my gosh, we haven't even touched on anything. We've got about 30 seconds left.
You changed the track all the time.
I did. Because it's interesting, and I think, the more I know, the less I know.
Okay.
And I think that's just the way it is. But one last thing before we go out about what you learned at this conference, or something that's exciting you?
Oh, speakers. There's new speaker ranges. Bowers & Wilkins, our go-to speaker company, redid one of their very popular lines, the CM series. It's now the 700 series, and it's a spectacular change. So we love it.
I tell you what, if you haven't been in, you need to come in and just sort of hang out and talk to these guys. They are the gurus. You guys know everything.
Thanks.
It's funny, I just grabbed a brochure. These brochures are great, and it's Expert Team Smart Solutions. I couldn't have said it better. It's great. It's great to see you. Thank you, Ian, for joining us. We want to thank all of you for joining us this week here on Girl Talk. Have a wonderful one.